Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to grab a compass and map out one of the most exciting and, let's be honest, sometimes confusing territories in tech: artificial intelligence. If you've ever felt like it's just this huge, uncharted land of buzzwords, well, you're in exactly the right place. Let's explore it together.
Right? It's a term that is absolutely everywhere. It's in the news, it's on our phones. But what does it actually mean? What are we really talking about? We're going to clear all that up and draw a really clear map, starting with, you guessed it, the language of this new world.
You know, before you can explore any new land, you kind of have to understand the local language. And in the world of AI, that language is, overwhelmingly, Python. Seriously, it's the key that unlocks the door to building and understanding pretty much everything we're about to see.
So you might be wondering, why Python? I mean, there are lots of languages out there. Well, it dominates AI for three huge reasons. First, its syntax is super clear and simple, which makes it way easier to get started. Second, it's got this incredible ecosystem of libraries. Think of things like TensorFlow and PyTorch as these amazing toolkits that do all the heavy lifting and complex math for you. And finally, the community is massive. If you get stuck, help is literally just a quick search away. It's that mix of being simple and incredibly powerful that makes it the go-to language for AI. All right, so now that we've got our language skills ready, it is time to unroll the map. I want you to think of artificial intelligence not as just one single thing, but as a vast continent. It has different countries, different regions, each with its own unique landscape, and we're about to explore the main ones.
So at the highest, broadest level, AI is simply the science of making machines smart. We're talking about teaching them to do stuff that normally needs a human brain. You know, things like recognizing a face, translating a language, solving a tricky problem, or even creating art. This right here, this is the entire continent on our map.
And here it is. This slide is our true map. It gives us that bird's eye view of the whole shebang. Now notice the structure here. It's really important. AI is the big circle, the whole continent. Inside it, you've got machine learning, which is a major country within that continent. And then nestled even deeper inside that is deep learning, which is kind of like the high-tech capital city. We'll also take a tour of these other key territories, like natural language processing, how AI understands language, computer vision, how it sees, and the super exciting frontier of generative AI, how it creates. This is our guide for the journey.
First stop, let's zoom right in on the biggest country on our map, the one that powers so much of modern AI. This is machine learning. You can really think of it as the engine room of the entire continent.
So the crucial idea here is right there in the name: learning. See, in old-school programming, you have to write out every single rule for the computer. If this happens, do that. With machine learning, you don't do that at all. Instead, you just feed it a mountain of data and let it figure out the patterns and the rules all by itself. It learns from examples, which is a lot like how we learn.
Now, machine learning isn't just one thing. It comes in three main flavors. With supervised learning, you're basically a teacher. You give the model labeled data, like a million pictures of cats, all labeled cat, to teach it what a cat looks like. Then there's unsupervised learning. Here, you're more like a detective. You give it a bunch of unlabeled data, and its job is to find hidden patterns on its own, like grouping customers based on what they buy. And finally, there's reinforcement learning. This is all about trial and error. The model is like an agent in a video game that gets points for good moves and loses points for bad ones, slowly learning the best way to win.
Okay, let's travel even deeper. We're heading into that high-tech capital city of machine learning I mentioned. This is deep learning, and it's a powerful subfield that's behind some of the most stunning AI breakthroughs we've seen, from self-driving cars to incredible medical diagnoses. And here's the beautiful core idea, what makes it so powerful. The entire concept of deep learning is literally modeled on the way our own brains work. It's trying to mimic that incredible web of connections between our neurons.
The way it does this is by using these powerful structures called artificial neural networks. These are the fundamental building blocks of all of deep learning.
And as you can see, they're made up of these layers of interconnected nodes, or artificial neurons. Think of it this way. Data comes in through the first layer. The hidden layers in the middle then process it, and each layer learns to spot more and more complex things. So the first layer might just see simple edges, the next might see shapes like eyes and a nose, and the final layer puts it all together and confidently says, "Hey, that's a cat." It's this layered approach that lets them understand really sophisticated patterns.
Okay, let's pull back from the depths of neural networks for a minute and take a rapid tour of a few other key territories on our map. I like to think of these as AI's specialized senses, how it learns to see, speak, and even create in our world.
First up, we've got natural language processing, or NLP. This whole field is dedicated to giving machines the ability to understand and use human language. This is the magic behind why you can talk to Siri or Alexa or get a pretty decent translation in a split second.
And to make that happen, NLP is doing a lot of complex stuff under the hood. It's breaking down sentences into their basic parts, it's analyzing text to figure out if the feeling is positive or negative, like in a product review, and it can even pick out and categorize key things, like the names of people or companies in a news article.
Next stop, computer vision. So if NLP gives AI its ears and a mouth, computer vision gives it eyes. This is the field that lets machines see and make sense of the visual world. We're talking photos, videos, even live camera feeds.
This involves all sorts of things, from spotting simple edges in a picture to pulling out complex features, like the texture of a dog's fur. And the real powerhouse behind modern computer vision is a special kind of neural network called a convolutional neural network, or a CNN. They're just brilliantly designed to process grid-like data like images, which makes them amazing at seeing.
And that brings us to maybe the most talked about part of the map right now, generative AI. This is the creative artist of the AI world. Unlike all the other AIs that just analyze data that's already there, these models can generate completely new original content that has never existed before.
And I guarantee you've heard of some of the stars of this field. For language, you have models like GPT, which is the engine behind tools like ChatGPT. For images, you have models called GANs, which can create those hyper-realistic photos of people who don't actually exist. This whole field is just exploding with creativity right now.
So, our journey across the continent of AI is just about wrapping up. We've learned its language, Python, we've mapped out its major countries like machine learning, and we even visited some of those cutting-edge cities like deep learning and generative AI.
We really started with the foundation, Python. And from there, we mapped out this vast landscape. We charted the territories of machine learning, deep learning, NLP, and all the rest. The point is, this isn't just a random collection of buzzwords anymore. It's a structured world that you can actually navigate.
You now have the foundational map. You get how these incredible fields relate to each other and the big ideas that make them tick. And yeah, the world of AI is huge and it's always changing, but it's not an unknown territory for you anymore. The map is in your hands, so the only question left is, where will you explore next?